Hello, good morning. We have got definite gremlins today, so we will see how this goes. I'm watching and hoping that I've fixed it now, but we'll see. So if it gets too bad, we'll give up and I will do this another day. But we will give it a go and see what happens. Because yeah, they decided to change something on me this morning and not. It's always fun to turn your computer on expecting it to work, and then they've changed something in the background, which means you had to change a load of other things. So I'm hoping it's working. So anyway, today I have got we'll see if this decides to work or not. I've got an idea that I want to play with, so I'm going to get cracking and see how long our internet decides it wants to stay with us. So there we go. You can see I've got my journal because I am playing. Oh, it looks like it's timing out again. Oh, I think it is going to be one of them days that it just doesn't seem to want to work. So in my journal, I normally go and grab a random page and take it from there. Right, so random page in my journal, because I always get nervous opening a new journal and starting at the front, because it feels like a really big challenge, doesn't it, to get to the end of a journal. Whereas if you start with a random page in the middle, you never know how many pages you've got left to go. So, morning, Mum. Hopefully the internet has decided it wants to play, but we will see. Right, there we go. It only just fits as well, my journal on here. So I have got some washi tape and I'm going to mask off an area for us to use. I'm going to keep going and see what happens, and hope. That really didn't give me any space, did it? I'm going to do jaunty angles, because otherwise I have to make things straight, don't I? And yeah, not going to happen. So let's do a bit like that. So I'm just creating an area that we're going to work in, just like that. Maybe do a bit like that. There you go. I've even had to call in reinforcements to try and help, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then I'm going to do another one about there. So if I keep breaking up, I do apologise. There you go. So if you hear things crashing in the background, it's just Mr. Roo moving stuff. Right, so I have got a masked off area on my page. I'm going to use my brush over this, because I'm hoping it's going to look amazing. So I'm going to use a bit of gamboge, and then a bit of orange, and a bit of red. Yeah, so I'm going to start off with my gamboge, and I'm going to create my background. Yep. So I'm just going to sprinkle dinkle. I should have really masked off the other areas, but I'm going to move my brush out that I don't want. Yeah. I'm trying to rush now because I know that we're running a bit late. There we go. Right, so you can see I have got my brush out in the background and I need to spritz it. And I want to make sure I have all of this coloured. I don't want any white space. There we go, that works. And I'm just going to give it a dry. And again, if I was thinking about it, I should have masked off the other areas in my book. But I wasn't. I was dealing with gremlins. Okay, so I just want this. I need this to be dry because I'm going to stamp over the top of it basically. I've got a blob there that's just not drying. And there. hopefully get in there. What I should have done was wiped it off my tape as well. But hey ho. There's lots of coulda, shoulda with this one today. I am trying to be quick as well because, yeah, internet's not liking me. Right, I think we are there. So we've basically got a coloured panel on our page. And yes, I have used a brush over it, but any watercolour, I'm just moving any excess off there. Now, I want to use, I know it's becoming one of those go-to stamps of mine, isn't it? I'm going to use one of our sketch flowers. There it is. I knew it was probably on the stamping block. And I'm going to move my page around so that I can stamp a bit easier. What I'm going to do. There we go. And then what I want to do is create myself a bit of space. And we're going to have these flower heads coming in. Yep. It's going to be a bit tricky to get one. Oh, I might start with the top actually. If I can move this so we can get to it a bit easier. Ooh. I've not got the strength these days to pull my stamps on and off. So I'm going to put this right at the edge of my stamp block so that I have got a better chance of, should have had my Weetabix, shouldn't I? I've got a better chance of, there we go, see, getting this flower head in there. Right, so what I also need to do is just mask off the other areas. We'll use some kitchen roll because it's to hand. I'm just going to pop a little bit of kitchen roll down, and all this is to do is to try and stop and getting ink everywhere. If I had my post-it notes, they would have been a lot easier to use, but hey. There we go. You just have to be careful as well, because every time you put another layer, you're creating volume, aren't you? I'm going to take that one out and just hope I don't get any down that side. Right. Stop faffing, start stamping. So it's really just the flower heads I want. So I'm going to come and put this one however it fits. There, I think. There we go. So I've got that one there. I'm going to move this around a bit, and I'm hoping, nope, I need to move my stamp again. Oof. I know, flustered this morning. Mr. Internet is not my friend. I'm going to have this one here, and then I can get another one on that side, can't I? There we go. There you go, and I'm having to press quite hard because I've got a very textured piece of card underneath. My journal's textured paper. Yep, so it does look like I'm pressing really hard because I am. Again, I'm just going to ink this one up. I'd like to try and get a smidgen. Oh, look at that. That'll be pretty, won't it? Put a bit of that leaf on, and we might even nope, I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to move this out of the way and give it a quick blast with my heat gun. And I need it to be dry because I don't want that ink moving. I could have done it with embossing powder, but the way my morning's gone, don't quite think embossing powder would have been the best idea for me to use. We know I can get myself in a pickle using my embossing powder at the best of times. And using my embossing powder and being a little bit flustered, not going to happen. Right, so I've used my gambos in the background. I've got some orange and I've got some red. So I'm going to slowly build up my colour using these lovely colours. I'm going to start off with the orange, as always. Let's go paler to darker, because we know we can add, but we can't always take away as easy. We can take away a little bit, but not as easy. So let me grab a paintbrush, and we're just going to go like we normally would, building up our colour really slowly. So all I'm going to do is start popping into our background. And with it being brusho as well, it's going to mix and merge. So I can start to go a little bit harder. Not harder, darker, that's the word. I should have known today was going to be one of them days. Bear decided at the last minute that he had to take, he's got a medal that he's showing everybody at the moment. And one of his teachers had asked if he could take it back in, but he forgot to tell me last night, so I had to find it again today. And I always like to make sure they've got his name on and things, in case it goes walkies. I had that last minute, and then he needed something else. He needed a t-shirt for design tech. Just literally, as he's walking out the door, he's like, oh, and I need this, and I need that. So I'm just going to slowly keep building up this colour. Yeah. So my darker areas are going to be around my flowers. But we're just going to keep popping more and more colour in until we are happy. And again, I could have added some embossing powder to this, but I've done it in black. I could have got away with white embossing powder maybe. Oh, see, got a bit of a line there, haven't we? Don't like that, so I'm just going to start dragging it away. Just keep adding. And yes, I am using a very heavyweight paper to do this today, because of all the water I'm putting on. So my normal white wove that I use probably wouldn't hold up very well to doing this. So I've got a much sturdier card, even though it doesn't look it because it's gone all crinkly. It's a much sturdier paper, more of a watercolour paper today. Just building this colour up. And when you're not too keen on it, just add a bit more water. What we might do is just give it a quick dry in a minute, just to get lots of orange in. Now I have picked up my red as well, because I thought adding little bits of red would look quite good around this as well. So again, just around those edges, slowly building it up. It almost feels like opposites, doesn't it? Normally we're working on the flowers, but today we've kind of ignored our flowers and we're going just for these lovely edges. See, every time I put my brush back down, I'm just adding a bit more colour, a bit more depth. Concentrating on those lovely edges. And I know it might bleed slightly under my washi tape. That is okay, because we can soon work around that, can't we? I think we'll want to put a bit more on it. So again, I'm going to come in and just pick up some of this red. I don't think you can quite see it, you can. And I am being brave for me, because those of you that know me well know I'm not very confident when it comes to using reds. So yes, I am being very, very brave today. Again, just adding in those little bits of red. Kind of letting it do its own thing as well, which is kind of nice. Like I say, my paper is quite saturated, so I'm not actually having to do much of it, because the ink and the amount of water I've got on there is just, it's going okay. Kind of get what you want to do. Just keep building it up. And again, just really getting that deep red into and around our flowers. There we go. How pretty does that look like? So, let's clean my brush out. I think, well no, I'm not going to clean my brush out. What I'm going to do is dry this a bit, because we've got very wrinkly, crinkly paper. Because I have really saturated, and it's a good job I'm working on one piece rather than lots. I think it would have gone through. I am loving how that looks though. I wasn't going to, I wanted to keep it just with the, you know, the yellow, the orange and the red, but I am going to add a little bits of green in, I think. Just making sure. Right. So, do I want to add any more to this? No, I don't. No. I do change my mind, don't I? So let's get the red out my brush. And then, like I say, I am just going to go and grab a little bit of green for those leaves. I wasn't going to, because I wanted to keep it in the same tone, shade, whatever you want to call it. But I think it needs it. So good old faithful leaf green's coming out. I do use this one an awful lot, don't I? There we go, I'm just going to pop a little bit on there, and I'm going to cheat, I'm going to go for a smaller paintbrush. Can't find it, this one I'll have to do. So literally I am just going to pop a little bit of this green in to our flowers, our leaves even. Flowers. Where am I going today with my words? All kerfuffle, aren't I? I think it's because it's gone so chilly again. Though I am pleased, yesterday was little lady's sports day. They do a lot of it throughout the last 3 weeks, but yesterday was the track events. So the whole school gets together on the field. And they actually got to do it, which is amazing. Because the way the weather's been, I didn't think they were going to. And she'd done shot put earlier last week, I think it was. And then this week she had to run the relay. And they got to do it until someone got injured. It can't be helped. There we go. So relaxing, isn't it? Just getting your paints, getting your inks. But again, I've done this with Brusho. You could do this with any watercolour or your inks or anything like that. Your oxides or anything like that. Right. Yeah, don't think it needs anything else, does it? It's a moment of truth time. Let me get this off my desk. Moment of truth time. Is it going to look as good as I hope it will when I take this tape off? We shall see, shall we? Got myself covered in ink and I don't quite know. Didn't quite think I'd been that messy, to be honest with you. But you never know. So I'm going to dry it. 1, to make sure my Brusho is dry. But 2, I want to try and melt some of this tape so it comes off a little bit easier. So I don't rip my paper. I'm just going to start by making sure my flowers are dry. And I just want to take some of this tape off. You need to be an octopus, don't you, sometimes? Oops, there's one. 2. You can see it has bled a little bit. But it's okay. Come on. What happens? And a little bit of resistance there. I know. I really do need to be an octopus this morning. Technical support and octopus in one morning. Oof. There we go. Right. There. Okay, how cool is that? It's quite dark on screen. Right. So, we now have our piece. Oh, it's all quite sticky, but that's okay. Does look cool, doesn't it? So, where is... I want a black pen. Well, that's a black pen anywhere. Probably not. Well, I will have a black pen. It just won't be where I was wanting it to be. There's one. There we go. And all I'm going to do, just double check that that has dried. All I'm going to do is just scratch a line around here to create a frame. like that, because then it goes in with your sketches, doesn't it? How pretty does that look? I think it might need a little bit of white in there as well. Actually, I can turn that over now, can't I? See, it did go through. You can see where I've put that real deep red on there. Just do a scratchy line. There we go. I'm going to do the same coming down. But I've just done this any shape. You could do it. You could use a whatchamacallit, a die cut shape. Just make sure you seal up those edges. There we go. Now, what else do I want to do with that? Do I want to put a little bit of white in there? I'm not sure actually. Might do a little bit of doodling. Let me just go and grab a stamp though, because I think it is perfect for this piece. You know, coming back to it, I might actually put a double frame around it. So I've got another one of those little £2 stamps that we launched last week sometime, or I finally got on the website the other day. So I think, oh, I wonder if I've left myself enough room. No, I've not, have I? I might have done. No, I'm going to leave it like that. I was thinking whether our little one, we could stand our little one on there like so, but I think it might make it a bit too busy. I don't know. No, I'm going to do it, and then we're going to stamp "You Are Enough" on that bit as well. So before I do any more stamping, I'm just going to do a second line around here, just to make that frame look a little bit more. Oops, I thought I'd turn my phone down. Could actually be Mr. Polymer Man, bringing my polymer. It's polymer delivery day today. It's all go, isn't it, this Wednesday morning? Some days are just like that, aren't they? One of those things, we love getting new barrels of polymer, but it then means you've got to lift a really heavy barrel for a few days until you start to empty it. Right, I'm preferring it with a double frame around it, definitely. So I'm going to move that to one side because I do like that. I'm really chuffed with myself because I think that really worked, that background. And let me grab, I just need a little scrap of paper, and we're going to use our little one. I should really name these, shouldn't I? This one is becoming one of my go-tos. And I'm having a moment of, should I stamp this directly onto my book and then just cut those bits out, or should I leave a little border? And I think we're going to leave a little border. Now, the only downside in my plan was we could have coloured this in when we were colouring in our other one. But I didn't think that far ahead, did I? I didn't know we wanted it. But we do now. So again, I'm going in with my brush out, so I need to make sure it it is really dry, otherwise you do get a little bit of bleeding from your versifying flour until it is perfectly dry. It's just one of them that needs a bit of encouragement to dry, isn't it? Right, let me pull that back over there, otherwise it gets full of ink. And I'm not going to change my colours, so we're going to use green for our leaves, because it's a, you know, it's called leaf green. It tells you what to do with it, that one, doesn't it? Just about manage that. We're going to do our leaf green. And what I actually want, I know I've got the I wants now, is when I paint this, I want the colours to be really bright, really vibrant, so it stands out from, let's see if I can leave that there, there we go. So it does stand out from our background a little. I'm just going to bring a layer all over, and then start to go in with a little bit darker, so more brush O less. And again, I'm literally just letting the pigment on my brush do the work for me. I'm always very reluctant to call it painting because it isn't really what I do. I just kind of splat the colours until it looks okay. There we go. Right. Let's get that dry. I'm going to try and be clever then and clean my desk and use the heat gun at the same time, not happening. That should do. And I know I keep doing this flower in yellow, poor thing. Might have to just go for it and go wild. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit extra brush out gamboge on my desk, because not only do I want my flower, I want my writing as well in it. I'm just going to come in, turn it around so it's easier to get to, and less chance of inky pinkies everywhere as well if you're turning your work round. Because I do have a nasty habit of always putting my hand into what I'm trying to work on. And then we're just going to start. Ooh, that went a bit dark. That went dark fast, didn't it? Just knock it back a bit. Again, just keep building it slowly and carefully. If it does go a bit dark, then you just either add a bit of water or get the rest to catch up. There we go. Right, that's quite pretty, and it's going to stand out, isn't it, on there? So I'm going to grab my book again. I need to open it out. I'm going to get myself in a pickle. There we go. So I think I just popped you in the noodles there. So we have got this "You Are Enough," and I'm just going to pop that down in this bottom corner. Give it a quick stamp. There we go. Oops, lid didn't want to come off. going to pop it. What do you reckon about there? There we go. Give it a quick blast, because again, morning Gabriel. So again, blasting it with my heat gun because I'm going to be using my brusho on it. And it's all about taking those little steps that would make it go from, oh, it's worked, to, oh, it's another place I could make it not work, if that makes sense. Right, and then I'm just going to go in again with our hot desk. Our little, that went a bit dark very, very fast, didn't it? I keep doing that with my gamboge today. Has to be one of my favourite colours though, gamboge. Oopsie daisy, there we go. Oops, that's going to be a lot because I could see the mountain of pigment I got stuck on my brush there. I'm just going to add a bit to the top there. Okay. It's really weird, I have to really concentrate to do things like letters and stuff, whereas it's flowers and stuff, I just throw it on, hope for the best. There we go, right, stop faffing. We need to get that dry because it will start to bleed if we're not careful. There we go. Pop that away, give it a quick blast, and we might even get the glossy accents out on here. Off from here, I might as well try my little one. But I do love how what that shape turned out. I can't even call it a rectangle, can I? My odd looking shape turned out. Then I'm just going to cut this out with a bit of a border. And the twofold I'm doing that. One, it's white on a cream paper, so it's going to create a background. It's going to create a border, and it's going to make it stand out a little bit more. Because I wasn't sure if I wanted to just go straight onto the paper and then decoupage on the other bits, but I think this way the whole thing is just going to stand out a bit more. And seeing as though we were only experimenting today, I am pretty pleased with how that has turned out. Because next time I might give it a bit more thought as to our shape and the finished piece. Can you imagine just doing that on a card by itself and then just a greeting with it? I think that would look amazing. And people would be so impressed, wouldn't they? I wonder how you've done it. Oops. There we go. And we are just going to stick that somewhere. Oops, a daisy. Throwing everything around, so let's close my book up a bit more. And then it's the decision time. Can't do that now. Doesn't. So I did want it like that, but actually it looks like he stood there going, I am enough. So I am. I'm going to put it on that side, and I'm going to stick it down just because it's in my journal. If I start adding lots and lots of foam pads and things in my journal, it starts to poof out a bit too much. We don't want that, do we? No. There we go. Let's see if I could be clever then. Now I'm going to move it over just a tad, I think. Pop that on there. Good job I didn't stamp it in, because I changed my mind. So we have got, let's put a little bit of glossy accents on there actually. Can't get the lid back in my glue, there we go. Oh, my bendy pin. There we go. Everything's got pins, hasn't it? There we go. Glossy accents is in action. So I just need to be careful because your brush show will reactivate once you pop your glossy accents on it. And actually I am pleased that I didn't use the white embossing powder and we stuck with the black, because I think it does look pretty. I'm not saying white embossing powder wouldn't look good, but I think after my gremlins this morning, I'm definitely pleased we kept it kind of simple. There we go. Ooh, got a brush on me. My glossy accents. Let's just give that a bit of a wipe. Otherwise, everything from now on will be gamboge, and we don't. Even though I do like gamboge, I don't think we want to turn everything gamboge. There we go. That's better. That's slimy. It's going to end up all over something. Yeah. There we go. So we have got our lovely, I think it's sketch number 3 flower. You know, lots of thought went into that name, didn't it? So we've used the big one to create our little flower heads and our little one just to create a little bit of interest on our journal page. I really wish I'd have gone for it and done a huge page. But yeah, I love how that looks. I think we might do something. I think this has worked brilliantly with July's monthly make, so we might do something similar in the weeks to come. But there you go. So we used gamboge, orange and scarlet for that lovely background. Loving it. Right, we got there, even with the gremlins. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Even with the gremlins. I told you, it's one of those gremlin kind of days, isn't it? So thank you for joining me today, even though it was a little bit later than planned. I know, gremlins, gotta love them. What was I going to say? Monday is the start of July's, I can't believe it's July's, start of July's monthly make. So I do hope you can join me at 7 when we launch July's monthly make. And those of you that have ordered it, they should be arriving any day. So fingers crossed you'll be getting yours soon. And we'll be launching at 7 on Monday. So I do hope you can join me then. I think that's everything. So do take care, stay safe, and I will see you all on Monday at 7 for Monthly Make Monday. Take care. See you soon.